Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's always a pleasure to meet somebody new. Today I have another rare game experience for you guys. If you're new to this is where I go into the rare, odd, and often bizarre world of video games, taking a look at those truly rare experiences. Today I have one for you that, well, honestly is an early entry into the VR space in the arcade. Now, I know today that you can go in and see all sorts of new large shooting VR experiences set up, as the cost of the hardware has gone down. However, this wasn't always the case, in part because the hardware really couldn't push the graphics, and secondly wasn't really financially viable to put in these kinds of machines. It made it difficult to get them into the arcade basically, but that's not to say it didn't happen. And the machine we're going to talk about today, which is the VR Vortek 3, did it. So let's dive in and take a look, shall we? Now, this mouthful of cabinet was made by a company called Global VR, which was a small company founded in 1998 by 4 employees. They started out making primarily arcade games and then dipped into virtual reality stands as well, which is where our particular cabinet comes into play. This thing was a beast of early VR cabinet, sporting a headset that you would pull down and look into, and an attachable control stock that could be plugged into the headset. The headset itself could even move in a full 360 degrees on its fixed point. And quite frankly, I actually think the fixed point was a good thing in this case. Is it the best for immersion? Not exactly, but given the limited space of any arcade and the amount of movement usually required for the standard VR experience these days, giving someone a fixed area would be beneficial in keeping everyone, well, safe, for lack of a better word. On top of all this, it even had a standard display screen so other people could see what was going on in the game. You know, when the player is not spinning around getting in the way. Now, unlike most cabinets, this one was more of a system than a basic arcade cabinet, and often came loaded with a host of games for the player to select from. These games included several of the following usually: Beachhead 2003 Desert War, Invasion Earth, and Sky Bandits. It also might include Beachhead 2000 or Beachhead 2002 on it. But what did these games play like, you ask? Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look at a few of them and see how they played, shall we? First up, let's take a look at Beachhead as a series. This game honestly looks like it would lean itself to the headset really well and possibly make it a more immersive experience than playing it with a controller or a mouse and keyboard. The reason for this is simple. Almost all the action seems to take place in a bunker of some sort. You, as the player, are set in a fixed position with what appears to be unlimited ammo outside of more powerful high-end weapons that you can swap to, like a cannon that tends to have more power but a drastically lower firing rate. Your objective is simple: defend yourself from tanks, infantry, and helicopters as they try to overrun your position. Your goal is simply to survive as long as you can and accumulate a high score. The next game would be Invasion Earth, which honestly I had a beast of a time finding anything on. The best I can figure is this was a late and rare addition to the system, and while I did see some footage of it, it was not really reasonable enough to show. Sufficient to say, it looks like, well, Beachhead, just in space, where you're defending a location from an alien invasion. The last one, Sky Bandits, well, let's just say that you can see from a very short amount of footage I was able to find that we have a theme going on here. It really does feel like they found a game theme that worked and then mostly just reskinned it to make more games while adjusting flight patterns of enemies and giving you different backdrops. And that's pretty much it. They all kind of played just about the same, it seems. Now, reception to the system was, well, from what I can tell, unknown. Honestly, just digging into this was kind of a pain. Finding anything on the unit was spotty. Finding anything on the company, well, there wasn't much there either. It seems to just be one of those odd cabinets that came and went without really making much of an impact or impression on gamers as a whole. However, what do you guys actually think of this one? Were any of you fans of this cabinet? And if so, which game was your favorite? Are you into VR games at all, old or new? And if so, which ones? Are there any other cabinets in the wild like this that you'd like to see me take a look at? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, if you don't mind, please leave this video a like. And if you see more of my stuff you like, consider following the channel. That really does help me out a ton. Till we meet again though, have a great rest of your day, and happy gaming.